Hello and welcome to the Finjan Show. I'm your host, Faris Salami, and thanks for joining us today. Today we have a guest with us, Chris Davis. Thank you so much, Chris, for joining.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so maybe you could tell the audiences who are listening to or tuning in today, who's Chris?
Yeah, so I am a co-founder of a marketing agency called Rev Cardo. Me and my partner, it's just two of us co-founders, me and my partner, Jason Bramble. He actually, interestingly enough, found me on Instagram probably about 2 years ago, come like probably around this time of year too. And I was just posting content. Like I started off just doing social media marketing and web design, stuff like that, just freelance. And I was just like cranking out content through the pandemic because there was nothing better to do. So he ended up finding, coming across my TikTok and my Instagram videos, and just, thank God he chose to reach out or whatever. And I was open to networking. So it just goes to show you how important networking is. So yeah, we got connected, and he pitched me on the idea. I was running like my own little agency at the time, but it was really nothing but just web design and development to a very light level. And leads weren't really coming in because it's a super saturated market. So he pitched me on an idea to start this kind of RevOps company that did a little bit more than just one specific service, where it would cover the entire funnel from top to bottom. And I've read it. I was like, this sounds like a really good idea. And yeah, we took the plunge. He left his job. I had already left my job a little bit before I started freelancing, so we were kind of just out there just doing it, just making things happen.
Wow, what a story, Chris. I mean,
Yeah.
you meet on Instagram and then 2 years later, you guys doing cool things all over. This is awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's been crazy, a crazy ride.
So I want to go back just for a second. Why did you do freelancing? What got you to want to do that? What were you doing before?
Yeah, so I was actually working in different jobs after college. I never graduated, so I kind of just left college. Then was just looking for jobs. Ended up doing a bunch of retail. Did the Disney College program for a year, so that was really cool. Got me some good experience, just personal soft skills and stuff like that, just communication skills. And then after I came back, I was working at Comcast for a year. That was amazing, but I was a contractor, so it just was not paying the bills, and I had a lot of student loans. So after that, I ended up getting a job that was really high paying, but it sucked. So it was like the exact definition of a job, like not like nothing more, just a job. So I kind of just took that as an opportunity to, and to any entrepreneurs out there, people thinking, dive in entrepreneurship, make sure you plan your exit and don't just leave your job or just like purposely try to get fired without a plan. I literally tried to sit there, or not tried, I sat there for 5 months saving money for just trying to start a business and stuff. So I saved up enough to be able to last like 6 months to a year of expenses, and then left that job. And once I was doing that, I was like, I got to do something here. So I was already freelancing a little bit. I never got to the point where I was freelancing, and this is probably what you should do, is freelance to where you're making enough, like if not the same amount you are at your day job. I didn't quite get to that point, but I was like, I have enough savings to survive. So I'm sure the business start to go up. So yeah, once I left there, I just kept freelancing and just kept trying to get clients to help me out with referrals, and just trying to find my own leads. Wasn't going as well as I expected it to go. So that's where, after Jason hit me up about the agency, I was like super down for something that sounded a lot better, and having some help too. Kind of doing everything on your own is very tough. So I was trying to juggle a million things with no type of, strong network or anything.
That's so cool. Thank you so much for sharing that,
Yeah.
Chris. I mean, I know I'm asking sometimes,
Mhm.
vulnerable questions, but I really feel
Yeah.
that when we're open and sharing, more people could learn about the journey of entrepreneurship. And as you know, one
Mhm.
of the goals is to bust these myths so that, you're all rich and you all started really well. The reality is we all struggle, and sometimes the
Yeah.
struggle go on for a long time before someone could make that transition to feel more comfortable. But it's a
Right.
journey that you take, and it's a beautiful journey.
No, for sure. I'd agree 100%.
So tell me a little bit more. So this entrepreneurship, as you were
Yeah.
sharing a little bit of it, ups and downs, right? Sometimes the same moments, sometimes different moments.
Oh
But
yeah.
would you mind sharing with us maybe one of your down moments where you felt the world is ending, or you're in the bottom, or what's going to happen next?
Yeah. Probably a little bit to when we were kind of getting things rolling. Everything's looking up, and we're, yeah, like I think that's the thing with entrepreneurship. Like things can look so good and be projected to look so good and forecasted, But at the end of the day, there's like uncontrollable things happen, and we're still learning. So I think like kind of, once we started to pick things up and it looked like everything was going right, we had ended up, losing a few clients due to, different things. Either, we weren't, we were still learning. So maybe we weren't doing as great as the jobs we thought, or, they just were cutting back because they didn't have enough things internally set. So we lost about like 2 or 3 clients at like, in like, it was like the same month too. And they were like one of our like main accounts. So we ended up, yeah, just losing a ton of revenue, that we had to somehow like get back. But so what we did was we basically just locked down and focused on sales, which I think one thing that separates us from a lot of other like entrepreneurs and companies is that me and my partner like will sell like till we pass out. Like we don't care. I'll sell anything. So we just focused on selling, me and him, and just both just refilled up our pipeline. And yeah, it just eventually started closing deals again. And then now we had the it was cool because one thing people can't take from you is the knowledge that you gain through the process. So now knowing that we lost clients, we sat down, looked at data, found out what it was that might have caused it, at least as much as we could. And then now when we brought the new clients on, we took it very, like these are our lifeblood. We're not going to, take any time from these, and it's going to be our main focus. And then start solidifying more processes, better processes than before, to now hold the revenue going forward and get more revenue out of it from like referrals and things like that, and like just different programs.
Love that, Chris. So
Yeah.
one thing I always mention to entrepreneurs I work with is when you take it seriously, it's amazing what happens with the
Yeah.
other people. And I know that you were joking before. It's just it went from a side hustle to maybe a business, but you're still in this kind of like, well, no big deal. It'll make it work. And then
Yeah.
someone, for whatever reason, although they should have taken it seriously, they just did whatever they did. And it's really great news that you shared with us. And I think it's a great insights. It's up to you to do what happened to you.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, your reactions and what you do with that information is up to you. No one else can tell you what to do with that. So
Exactly.
that's powerful. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing. Chris, let's
For
take a
sure.
break, just a short break, and we'll be right back. Thanks for being with
Cool.
us. Welcome back,
Here we
Chris.
go. Hey.
These days are kind of interesting. Take breaks on on Zoom.
Right. It's a little Zoom break.
Zoom break. So Chris, maybe you could share with us, one of your up moments where you felt like you're on top of the wall, this is going to be amazing, and you're like in control.
Yeah, I would say when me and my partner, when we first started, we use seamless.ai, which is basically a sales enablement software that helps you get leads and things like that from LinkedIn and other sources, kind of like Zoom Info. So we were using them for a while when we first started, and successfully were able to, make them make a lot of money because we're giving it to our clients and we're selling a lot of it. So we originally joined something called the Seven Figures Club, which you sell a certain amount with using the software, and we got an award and everything, which was cool. But then what happened actually, like a few months ago, we actually got into the 8-figure club with them, and then I think it was just like we don't get too much, at least in the beginning, we weren't getting too much PR and press and like just recognition on accomplishments. So getting that was like huge. Like they were helping us because it helped us get more business, because I was like, hey, we have this tool that we helped all these other companies make millions of bucks with it. We can help you do the same. So, and they were kind of promoting it too. So it was really helpful for us. And I thought that like, it was just really big for us, just as, a milestone, something to celebrate. Cause I think, as an entrepreneur, you kind of skip over all the little accomplishments you might, be achieving throughout the process.
Yeah, for sure. Most time
Yeah,
you only celebrate or talk to yourself only when you're down. Very rarely when
exactly.
something is going well, when you're like, oh, let's go have a
Yeah.
celebration.
Hmm.
Well, Chris, what a journey. Congratulations. It sounds like a
Thanks, man.
wonderful journey that you've been on, and it keeps going up, it seems like. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully it keeps on going.
Yeah. So just one other question about you and your
Yeah.
partner. Are you guys in the same city? Do you live in different places?
Yeah, so we're not too far from each other. So we're in Philadelphia. I am in like Center City, which is just like downtown Philadelphia. He lives in a further suburb, which is Allentown. So it's about an hour, maybe a little over an hour away. So
Yeah.
not super far. We did have an office, and then we kind of sat and thought about it recently, like maybe over the last few months, and we're kind of like, it wasn't a point in us paying for the office because it was in the city. And, Jason would have to drive all the way down, spend a ton on gas, and then have to find parking or pay a ton for parking. So we were just like, this office doesn't make sense. So we ended up, scratching the office. And now we're fully remote. And all of our contractors and employees are in different cities and stuff too. It's not like we're all based in Philly. So it just made more sense.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
interesting what COVID did to the office space.
exactly. Yeah. And there's a lot more to come.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people who, as well as to legitimizing the people who are working from home, because a lot of
Yeah,
times you'll discounted them as like, you're not serious, but they are. It's just,
exactly.
they
Yep.
need an office. It made no business sense. So
Yeah, I used to have that same stigma when I worked at Comcast. We would have a lot of opportunities to work from home, and then I just always feel like a bum staying at home, or like I feel like people would think I'm lazy or something. When it's like, no, I'm still getting my job done.
yeah, I think actually people work more when they're at home because I tell my wife all the time, I used to go to work, now I live at work.
Yeah,
So
you can work it whenever you want.
Chris, thank you so much for sharing that. One of the
Yeah.
things I usually like to ask, looking back at your journey and
Mhm.
going back to the days that you started, doing it as a side hustle.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard to imagine this because you are in a different place today. You have different connections, you have different knowledge,
Mhm.
your brain is operating differently. What would you tell yourself back then, knowing what you know today, or someone that maybe just getting started? What would you be one of your insights that you would share with them?
I would say don't let yesterday ruin your today or tomorrow. I think a lot of times we waste a lot of time just regretting things or focusing on stuff that could have been done differently. Like we make thousands of decisions in a day. Not all of the decisions you make are going to be the best decision, especially when you're doing something new. So you just have to accept that you're going to sometimes make a wrong decision, and it's okay. Now that same exact process for next time, and now you won't make that same decision, and now you can educate someone else before they even step into that decision. And that's when mentorship and those kind of things come in handy, and consulting. But yeah, I think I would just really don't let yesterday be the main focus of what you're today or tomorrow. Like you're not defined by a bad mistake.
Love that, Chris. Thank you so much for sharing that. I've always mentioned to
Yeah.
people I am in the entrepreneurship practice world. We just
Yep.
and we just have to, the only way to get better at it is just keep practicing, but you can't
Yeah.
guarantee anything. You can only guarantee more practice.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're all as entrepreneur, you're never really done the journey. It continues to go.
Chris, thanks a million. Have a great day. We appreciate you being here
Thanks,
with
man.
us.
Yeah, I appreciate being on. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. This is the Finjan Show. I'm your host, Faris Salami. Till the next show, tune in. Have a good day.